Wow. I got some good news. I should say, Phantom and I have some good news. I'm Devil Tongue, by the way. No more 15-minute intervals. We're now broadcasting for 45 minutes. Ow! You don't seem enthused.
You know what it is? It's like, upgrade ya. That's how I feel. Like it's an upgrade.
It is an upgrade.
Wow.
I had the upgrade, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Wow, it's an upgrade.
You listen to Devil Tongue and Phantom Other on Spreaker.com. www.spreaker.com. And this is called To Celebrate, so I need more enthusiasm. That's better.
Yay!
Shout out to The System, one of my favorite 80s bands, duos.
And shout out to Phantom Mother because she's very happy right now. Even though in the beginning she probably sounded kind of sad. But you know what? It's all settling in. It's all settling in.
For those followers and fans of our show, you probably remember the early shows. We had the corny sound effects. So moving forward, we're going to probably just do, like musical sound bites and, YouTube and all that good stuff. Only because it sounds better anyway.
As you would say, we're growing.
Yeah, we're growing.
We're growing.
And we want you to grow with us. So follow us on Twitter at Devil Tongue, Instagram, Devil Tongue, Skype, Devil Tongue, devil.tongue@gmail.com. I actually have a Snapchat also.
And a phone number.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I always forget about my own phone number. I don't know why. It's 347-903-8452. That's 347-903-8452. Get at us. Get at us. Because, again, we're all over the place. We have a lot to talk about. And we discuss the issues that matter to all of us.
True. But not as serious as you think.
What do you mean not as serious as you think?
Because, sometimes people want to have a lighthearted discussion without getting enraged or anything like that. And I think, you know what? From time to time, we do have lighthearted conversations, but we have conversations that make people think.
Okay, but that's what Day Talk Television is for. Like, the real, the talk, the true.
No. That's all garbage, all right? What they do is that they talk about the same stupid crap that all the populace is talking about is what's happening in the top 5 things that are happening today.
There's a whole bunch of chickens squawking, if you ask me.
But with us, it's basically what's going on underneath.
Yeah. And again, because we're affected by these issues as well. So, we try to present them and bring them to you, and who knows, maybe all of us collectively can come up with a solution. That's all I'm saying.
True.
I'm going to talk about a very interesting issue that does affect us once again. All right. I have family in D.C. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to D.C., Metro D.C. Now, their Metro card, if you will, is a hard plastic card, similar to your credit or debit card. And I'm hoping on a personal note that when New York talks about phasing out the flimsy Metro cards we have now, that's what they're going to switch to. But I do know factually at the Bowling Green station on the 4 or 5 subway lines, they're not in use yet, but they've already installed readers for your phone. Where I guess, I'm not sure if it's going to be a barcode. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But they need to go to the tap system. When I say the tap system, meaning that you get these hard plastic Metro cards, you still get them out of the vending machine, and then you tap or swipe to get into the subway system.
I really have no comment on this, right?
I know.
Because I really just don't care.
Well,
and the reason why I really just don't care is because it's the Metro system, okay? There's a whole lot of other issues we could talk about other than the stupid card, but my thing is, it doesn't make a difference to me. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, you said there were issues with, how to obtain it as well as maintain the card, and, the only thing that I see a problem for me is that I'm a cash person.
Okay, let me stop you right there because that's the issue. If not everybody has an Android phone, not everybody has an iPhone.
True.
And I know personally, I'm not tapping or swiping my debit or credit card in the subway system. So, the fare is $2.75 now. What, I'm gonna turn around and my bill for one trip is gonna be like $10 because of some glitch? Well, I'm just saying.
Well, the way I look at it is that I'm a cash person. So I buy gas cash. A lot of things I do with cash. Yes, I'm old school. Yes, I'm just like that. I'm programmed like that. That's just me. I've already heard it from people asking me why, I don't use debit cards and this and that. I just don't. I don't. I'm a cash person. And when I, this past weekend, I was on the train. And I went to the, I guess it's called the Metro card machine or whatever.
Right.
And I put in my cash and got my card. And, and I'm a cash person. I don't don't get me wrong. Credit cards are used, I would say very freely everywhere.
Well,
but for me,
right.
Well, it's not very frequent. It's free. Okay? When I mean freely, I mean
I know you mean.
Right. Like everybody uses it for everything. They use it for their hair. They use it to buy groceries, to buy gas, to liquor, everything. That's what they purchase with their, with their cards. And for me, it's not feasible. I'm a cash person. So, I do use credit as well, but I use it appropriately in a certain situation. I don't use it all over the place.
Well, here's the thing. They're talking about, and again, maybe I'm misconstruing it, phasing out the Metro card.
Right, they're phasing it out.
I'm going to say this again. I don't have Apple Pay, iPay, or whatever. I do not want to use my phone to swipe into the system. Too much of a margin for error. And there's other issues, other considerations that I think the MTA, Joe Loda, they're not even considering. Now, let's take a sidebar to that. And the sidebar is dealing with the safety issues. For those of you who have rode on the air train, I'm not sure they call it the same in different airports like Las Vegas. What's that, McCarran? McCarran or Atlanta. But the air train has doors. And let me just cut to the chase. You cannot get near the tracks until the train is in the station and the doors and this barrier open. And that's a great idea. Whether it's practical or not, that's a matter of personal opinion. But it's a great idea in the sense that it's going to keep a lot more people safe. And that's what we need in our subway system. Period. Mm-hmm. So what's your take on, the security feature of the subway system now? The safety feature, I should say, not the security feature.
How much is it going to cost, and what the cost is going to be for the people? Because somehow they're gonna have to gouge you somewhere.
Right, they're gonna pass it on
to the people.
To the people.
It's just like how the Yankees, when they get certain teammates and they gotta pay them off. You think Steinbrenner's paying for it if he's still the owner or somebody else?
Steinbrenner dead.
Well, no, his children. Whatever Steinbrenner that's alive. Not Joe. Was it George Steinbrenner? But A. Steinbrenner is alive that still owns the Yankees.
Right.
So if they get once upon a time when they had Jeter there and Jeter was asking for a certain amount of money, who do you think paid for that? You think he paid for that? No, we, the spectators, paid for Jeter.
Oh, of course.
So you know who's going to pay for that? And it's sad. And right now, I'm going to tell you right now, what you really need to do is, that's nice and dandy, that safety feature is very nice and dandy to have, but what you really need to do is you really need to have a better hand on the mental health system that's going on today, because a lot of the people who are doing this stuff is mentally ill. So guess what? If you're able to catch those who are pushing people off, and those that get caught, that find out they have a mental defect, guess what? There should be a place for them they should have been at, because guess what? They've probably been evaluated, but nowhere to go.
I slightly disagree, because that's really one-sided. When the platform is crowded, accidents happen anyway.
No, but that's an accident. But a majority of the time, the people who have fell over have been pushed, all right? Or you will have your suicide case. But when you put in order the statistics of how many people are getting hurt compared to accidents, on purpose, suicidal, you have to put that all into consideration. And so I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, okay, yeah, it is one-sided because you're talking from a mental point, a mental point of view. But if you look at the last few accidents that happened, they've been by pushed people who are mentally ill.
Yeah, but still, as far as our infrastructure, this subway is over 100 years old. And while they have made new lines, while they're still working on new subway lines, the entire system is old. That's why there's so many breakdowns and delays, and they have to replace signals and tracks.
But here's my point. What is the purpose of an old system getting boarded? What is that? I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying, but there's no connection to that. What you're talking about is a broke down old infrastructure. What they're talking about is we're trying to cut down the bodies that are getting run over by the train that's coming into the station, or incidents that are happening, or people who things drop over and they jump over and get their things and not realizing the train is coming. So basically, they're looking at incidents. They're not looking at infrastructure. They don't care two shits about that. What they're looking at, you know what? We don't want to get sued no more. It's costing us.
Of course.
And guess what? Just because you got pushed, fell, or whatever, you're still going to collect a check.
All right. How about what happened the other day where a cab driver, his car was struck by a Long Island Railroad train. Now, he claims his car got stuck on the tracks. That's what the man said. How it happened, I don't know. But he was able to exit his vehicle just before the train struck his vehicle. And incidentally, he got a fine for being on the tracks. What that was all about, I'm not sure.
You know what's funny? How do cars get stuck on the track? Because you know what? On my way to school, okay, there was a train track I used to go over, right? My car never got stuck, okay? My car never got stuck. So when people tell you that their car got stuck, you go up a hill, what is it, like a valley? What is it, a ditch that you have to go up and up? See, that stuff that's garbage. Then on top of that, this is the other thing. You see the lights and they start going, all right? Dude, just because you're in a sports car, don't think you have to take that chance. I'm just giving you an example. I'm being facetious right now.
What if you're going...
I'm just saying.
What if you're going across the tracks, it's clear, and then clang, 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 clang?
Yes, but it gives you time.
Of course it does.
Right, but then you have that person that wants to beat it. So you see it coming down, and then all of a sudden, now you want to be up there playing Speed Racer. Those are the people, just like, what was it? We were on the highway one day, and the dude wanted to get off. So what did he do? He flew over from the left lane all the way to the right to get off. So you could have an accident right there because you had to get off. Guess what? Dude, the next exit wasn't that far away. You could have just got over, made a U-turn and do that. Nah, I'd rather get to where I gotta go. Screw y'all. Let me get into an accident. Heck, whatever, and then call it a day.
You sure that wasn't the last exit before the toll?
No, it wasn't the last exit before the toll.
Yeah, because maybe that's why he felt the need to get off.
No, it wasn't the last exit before. No, he just did it because he was probably too busy running his mouth or talking to his side chick or having a sexual conversation or whatever he was doing that he was distracted while driving.
You want to throw in the side chick, but in most cases it probably was her fault.
Whatever.
You listen to Devil Tongue and Phantom Other, and we're talking about, mass transit madness. Oh, here's a good throwback. Remember when the JFK Express was first introduced in the 80s? Take the train to the plane.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that when I was on the train.
Okay. Here's the funny thing about that whole scenario. This is before AirTrain was even conceived. They still charged you $5 separately, and that included the shuttle bus from the Howard Beach JFK station to whatever terminal you were going to.
Now, question before you get into it: they didn't charge you for the train? They charge you when you get out the train. Right. Okay.
Right. It was still whatever the fare was at the time but you had to pay the $5 separately. Now, even if you have an unlimited Metro card, it won't work at the AirTrain station. You have to use a pay-per-ride. The total cost of the swipe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like $7.50. I think. I'm not sure about that. But the fact is, you have to pay for your AirTrain ride. Now, if you take a bus into JFK, you can board the AirTrain for free. But if you get on either at the Howard Beach JFK station, which is the A line, or Jamaica Center. No, I'm sorry. It's actually Suffolk Boulevard. Excuse me. You parking that you're going to. I know they're working on LaGuardia Airport, and allegedly they're supposed to be connecting the JFK Air train to LaGuardia. That's still under construction. It's still going to take some time. But the catch is, or the question is, are we going to be saddled with the cost when it's done? Mm-hmm. You know, right now traffic is really bad on the Grand Central Parkway, which causes employees and passengers alike to sometimes get out and walk along the Grand Central until they get into the airport. Crazy, dangerous, but, you know, again, they're trying to get this project completed, and I hope they do it before they run out of money. You know, I'm not sure about Newark's air train system, but New York, you know, again, it's part of...
I didn't hear about that. It's too tough. Like what you just said about that other part, because it doesn't pertain to me.
What, you mean as far as people having to leave a car? Well, they don't leave their cars. You know, it's probably a cab or what have you, but they do get out because the traffic is so bad and walk along the Grand Central to get into
LaGuardia.
Right, LaGuardia, not JFK.
That's LaGuardia. And well, you know what? The reason why they did that was because whoever was supposed to do, the man or woman who's supposed to do traffic planning, screwed it up. Because LaGuardia is small, and LaGuardia is, I want to say, kind of like JFK, one way in and one way out.
Right.
There are many portals for you to get in, but it's one main portal in and one main portal out. And what happened is that when they thought about doing LaGuardia over, I think they didn't think it through.
No,
they didn't think it through.
Of course they didn't think it through.
What they should have done with LaGuardia is they should have worked from the right side and then move over to the left side. What they did was they worked on the whole thing from front to back or from left to right. And so you're not giving no leeway or break to anybody. So you're screwing it all up.
Shame.
So at least whoever was the traffic person, they should have said, okay, here's the project. We know we're working on LaGuardia. We know LaGuardia is so big. Let's work on the east side of LaGuardia first. Get that all into play. When we're finished with phase 3 of LaGuardia, before we go into phase 4, we'll start phase 1 over here, because now we're just basically finishing up, infrastructure. We can move traffic through. You know what I'm saying? Basically, we're just working inside buildings, painting and stuff like that, so we can open that side up so that, we can have traffic moving freely and stuff like that.
Well, when these contracts are awarded, do they have just one company or is it several companies? Forget about the bid.
It's not even the bid. It's sometimes it is the bid. Sometimes it's who gets the bid. Because guess what? If it's somebody's brother, cousin, uncle, whatever, and it's like, hey, we need the bid, we need the job, somehow they get it sometimes. And the way they look at it is like, yo, that's their lotto. And basically what they say is we do what we do. You know what, one thing that used to kill me?
What?
It used to kill me was, this was an ex-person of mine, and he didn't give me advice, but he gave me information.
Right.
And we were talking about construction. And then he said, which construction, right? They always got to ask for more money the next year. And I was like, yeah, I get it.
You pad your budget.
Right. But the catch is this. They always pad their budget, but they never use all the money that they use. That's the catch. So they're always over budget. And I said, really? He said, you ever heard of a project that was ever under budget? And I said, you got a point there. I've never heard of a project, street-wise, potholes, anything that was under budget. They've always been over budget. And then what happens is that when it gets towards the end of the year, they have to get rid of that money. So what they do is that they do it in bonuses. They do it in extra crap that they do. Because you will sit there and say, well, how are they able to do all this extra stuff? That's the extra padded money that they ask for every year. So technically, if you really need, let's say, I'm just saying hypothetically, you only needed $50, right?
Right.
To get the job done. So they padded to $75. You have an extra $25. What do you do with an extra $25? you fit it somewhere that it looks like it's an expense somewhere, so that when you're doing your taxes, it's claimed for. Technically, it could be a garbage expense because with taxes you can always fix it. That's what happens. So now that $75 is now $100. Now you got an extra $50 that you got padded. What are you doing with that extra $50 now that you get? What are you doing with that?
Well, if you're like most organizations, you buy plants and pictures and buy silly knickknacks.
What you do is that you end up, whoever's getting paid, you end up getting them bonuses, and they end up getting raises, and they end up getting a whole lot of stuff that you're sitting there saying to yourself, really? And who is this person's job? And this person's job really needed. Or here's the other thing: why you don't have more people on doing a certain job? Or why do you have less people on and doing a certain job? That's always the criteria that always goes wrong.
Okay, let's focus on that aspect for a second.
Go ahead.
You go to the post office, like, you went to the post office today. Mm-hmm. There's 5 windows, and yet there's only 2 clerks. You go to the supermarket. There's 10 registers, only 4 clerks. That's a problem.
But you know what it is? That's scheduling. That's what. See, this is what happened to America right now. We've cheapened our workforce. You want people to work, but you don't want to give them the hours. That's number one. You want people to work, but you won't give them the positions. You want to get people. What's sad is that okay, I understand people do work and they get home after 5, and then people go to the supermarket and it's crowded because a lot of people are working afterwards. But then you know that the supermarket is also crowded at 12 and 1 o'clock noon. Nobody really realized that. Why? Because you have a lot of people, aka, those who are babysitters. I shouldn't say babysitters, but, home health care, this and that. There's a lot of people who need to go out for lunch, stuff like that. And you have these long lines. And you're not thinking about, hey, that's a rush hour for somebody during that time. And they're not taking advantage of that. And when I go to the supermarket and I see the super long lines, I'm like, yo, why are you not pulling somebody to open up these lines? Yeah, you have self-serve, but guess what? A lot of people don't know self-serve because they don't want to use it. And the whole purpose of self-serve is to be express. And so now you got somebody who don't know how to use self-serve, making the thing express. Now, a crawl.
Yeah, but here's the other problem, too.
Go ahead.
If I have coupons, I'm better off going to someone at a register.
No, because I do it there, self-serve. Real talk. I do my coupons everywhere.
And what if, they have to key it in because it's not scanning?
Well, too bad. They got to key it in.
But if
that's their job.
If you're at self-serve, that's not going to happen.
Yes, it is, because there's somebody always there.
You're making this more difficult than what it really is.
No, it's not, because you know why? Because I'm a consumer, and I know when I go to self-serve, there's always a cashier there to help you. Because you know why? They're also supposed to be the hawk, to make sure that you ain't stealing either, all right? So that's why they have to have somebody there.
She's too busy on her cell phone, texting her girlfriend
and she is.
about love and hip-hop. She ain't
paying
you no mind.
You know what? You're right about that, but guess what? Excuse me, ma'am, I need help over here. Pause your cause and get your ass over here. Thank you.
Hold on, girl, because, this B thinks she want to tell me what to do.
Oh, no.
I'll be all with you, girl.
No.
And anyway,
B ain't telling you what to do. Your job is to be here, right? Then I got to call manager. Now you're going to lose your job. Okay.
Excuse me, girl. I don't need this job anyway. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
Because I'm in the studio.
All right.
And
all right, Nicki Minaj. All right. You got that. Okay. Well, right now, you're not in the studio. Right now, you here at Stop and Shop, all right? So, you know what? Get to stopping and get to shopping, all right?
That's why you need to go to the bodega, ma. Deuces!
Bodega, ma. You need to be at the corner, ma.
You're listening to Devil Tongue and Phantom Other on Spreaker.com. Just keep in mind, we're all over the place.
Oh, boy,
but
really?
We're talking about mass transit mess.
Mm-hmm.
While we're listening to a little bit of house music, Sybil's Love So Special. But I want to focus more on, our infrastructure and some of the problems that we, all of us, especially if you drive, face and deal with. I can't tell you how many potholes I hit in a day. Not even a week, in a day. And sometimes, and true, you should know where they are and be able to avoid them. It's the same friggin' potholes that DOT is not filling. But in the meantime, my shocks are done. They're gone.
You think New York cares? You think New York City cares?
Well, somebody needs to care. And when I start taking it behind the small claims court, they're going to know that, yeah, I want you to fix my Jeep. Period. Because I shouldn't have to, be getting whiplash right over these rough-ass roads because y'all just don't want to fix the streets. And what's the alternative? Take the train? Can't afford to do that neither. Okay? 275 won't carry you, but so far.
You know what they tell you, Vic?
Ooh. I'm a victim now? Yeah, you're right. I'm a victim.
You're a victim.
You're a victim too. Mm-hmm. We're all victims. Anybody that lives in New York City is a victim. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to be that. You can work from home. You can bike. You can... You can complain to your borough president, your congressperson, anybody who will listen to try to get these problems rectified.
True.
It's not right, but we're gonna try to make it right by protesting, complaining, you name it. I need to walk more anyway. Maybe I'll get a job close to home and walk to work. I'm just saying. But in any case, like I said, the MTA is working on phasing out the Metro cards and changing the system. But I hope that when they do it, it doesn't become a burden to the taxpayers. Hell, I pay taxes too. And, I don't want to wind up shelling out more than, I guess you could say was fair, simply because I have to. They're going to take notice of us, damn it. I'm going to keep complaining, damn it.
I hate that place. I just hate this. I don't mind the bus, I just hate the trains.
Well, what's there to hate?
Yeah, man, I don't like the trains, for real.
Yeah, but understand
man,
something.
I'm tired of the trains, man. I mean, like, the trains are alright. The only thing there's a lot of things I can tell you I don't like about the trains. But I just tolerate it. Take me from point A to point B. But it be some crazy crap on that stuff sometimes.
There's crazy crap on the trains all the time. What are you talking about? It's just that you're not exposed to it based on the time you ride the train.
True that. 'Cause I try not to be on the train late at night. Because that's where it really get hot.
It's not just late at night. It's in the afternoon. Trust me. Like the person who was sleeping under the seats on the number 3 train the other day.
No.
Not on the seats, but under them.
That's sad.
Oh, it's sad, but you gotta remember it goes back to enforcement as well.
That's sad.
Now we saying that those who are less fortunate than us don't have rights.
Well, what's sad about that is that I don't know if they still do it, but the police used to kick them off.
That, if I'm not mistaken, through the Civil Liberties Union, that's been outlawed.
Okay, no, because I remember they used to kick them off the train. And you want to hear something this is really sad. Really fucked up. This is really fucked up. What I'm about to tell you.
All right, tell me.
I forgot what train line I was on.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And this was like years ago. This must have been the 90s.
Right.
All right? And I don't know if I was on an R train or F train. I don't even remember.
Right.
And it was one of those, this is before MTA decided to put lights in train stations and to make them a little bit brighter. So you had a light there, but it was kind of dimmed out, probably there for a couple of years, but not realize it. And that's how I remember the train station, old school. Not all bright, nice and clean, and tiles, done over and everything. It was a little bit grimy.
Well, you gotta remember, the system is a 100-year-old system, so...
I'm just saying. I'm just giving the people, the feel of what I was going through.
Okay.
So I had to get off this stop, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was the right stop or the wrong stop, but I got off the stop, right?
Uh-huh.
When I got off the stop, I was like, what the hell was this? It's a train station in New York City. Gotta be at least, what, not even 0.5 miles. I'm just saying, from one end to the other.
Okay.
Okay? It's not a mile. I know that for a fact. So you took, I don't even think it's a half a mile.
Okay.
So I'm talking about the whole station from beginning to end. All right? I get off. All right?
Uh-oh. Cue the dramatic music. The house music don't count.
Yo, there were people lined up, homeless, from beginning to end. Like in rows, like hot dogs. Like in rows. And I sat there, when I got off the train, like I was like, I was like maybe young, I was maybe in my 20s at the time.
Let me stop you for a second, or slow you down for a second. Can you be a little more specific when you say lined up?
I said lined up like hot dogs. Lined up. They were lined up. You know what the train station looks like, right?
Yeah.
So it's vertical, not vertical, it's horizontal going this way, right? So horizontally, you had bodies lined up. Homeless people lined up from beginning to end.
They were laying on the ground?
They were laying on the ground, and everybody had like their own luggage or personal items and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there again. I'm not sure about Grand Central, because Grand Central, if I'm not mistaken, the MTA police do put you out. Mm-hmm. Even though during cold weather alerts they're not supposed to. Mm-hmm. They're code blue. But Penn Station, when I tell you wall to wall, and if you've never been to Penn Station,
I've been to Penn Station.
Okay, so then you
I
have
know what Penn Station is at, and I've been to Penn Station, but I haven't been there recently.
Well,
just like Grand Central Station, I haven't been there recently. I know where it's at. I've been there. I just haven't been there recently.
Well, Penn Station in the wintertime, right now the weather's nice.
Street, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So most of the homes still sleep outside, but wintertime, I kid you not. Just about every corridor, every, part of the station is wall to wall to wall. And, it's patrolled by the MTA police. But for the most part, they don't do anything. They'll,
not to cut you off and go back to my story, but when I got off the train, I was like, what the heck? And so it's one of those train stations where it's only one entrance in and one entrance out. It's not like other train stations where you might have an entrance at one end or another end.
Right.
So you had to walk out to go. So as I'm walking, I walk out, I look to my right, and I see like endless. I walk to my left, I see like endless.
Right.
So I have to walk to the main entrance out. So I'm walking to the main entrance, and I'm like, I just couldn't unbelieve, like, is this many homeless people? Like, and I had to be like in my 20s at the time. Mm-hmm. And I said, I couldn't believe as many homeless people that there were.
Believe
and
it.
They were all lined up, and they were from beginning to end of the station. And I just sat there, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then I had to, I don't know if I had to leave, and I had to come back in. So you have to go and see, and it's one of those stations where you can't go up and over to the other side. You have to go to the next. If you do, you got to pay another fare to go up and over.
Right.
And so I came back, and I was on the other side, and they must have had a sweep because everybody was gone. Everybody was gone. And it was like one of those things where it was like surreal. Like when I got off the train, I remember there was like, I can't say hundreds of people, but it was a lot of people.
Right.
When I got back there, like maybe 2-3 hours later, and I came down, but I was on the other side, it was it was like not a peep was there. And I sat there and was like, was I fucking dreaming? Like,
no, you weren't dreaming.
I was bugging out off of that.
And the problem is that there has been an explosion due to a variety of reasons. Since we're all over the place anyway, let's take that sidebar to this housing debacle in the first place. Why does the city insist on spending all this money to house anyone at a hotel at the cost of like $5,400 a night, when if you renovate these buildings, the rent is going to be way cheaper? Right now, lottery apartments, if you can get one, your rent could be as low as $600, $700, $800. I mean, it depends. But the thing is,
It's not cost effective. And I don't mean to say it like that. And you know what? Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of housing that people can get into.
Right.
Okay? But see, the way they're looking at it is like this. There's a lot of people who are in shelters who can't afford an apartment. That's why they're in a shelter. You have those who have money, who can afford the apartment. Those are going to be the first ones to go. Okay? And they should be the first ones to go. Because guess what? They have the money to sustain a lifestyle of them being in their own place. But what happens is that you have so much red tape and you have so many hookups and friends and everybody, it's funny, you have these developers who's supposed to be into affordable living, and then they up there put their friends in these places because because the real estate is prime.
Right.
Think about it. When did Manhattan exploded the way it did?
Oh hell, we're taking this back to the late 80s, early 90s.
No. When did it explode? What I mean by that, I don't mean the time. I'm talking about when, because you know what? When you was rich, you lived on the Upper East Side, or you lived on the east side of the well, that's still the Upper East Side.
Well, shit, you had the Upper East Side, the Upper West Side.
Certain parts of the Upper West Side.
You had
because you know why?
Battery Park.
Isn't Battery Park in Brooklyn?
No. Battery Park City. Okay. You had, I don't want to say Hell's Kitchen.
No, you know why I said that?
Yeah.
You know why I say that is because I remember Manhattan being affordable for everybody. Once upon a time. That's when the Odd Couple were living there. Well, no, they were living on the Upper East Side.
Oh,
they
right.
were getting paid. So remember, back in the day, there weren't that many rich spots. There wasn't that many rich spots. So you only mentioned like 3 off the top. The East, Upper West, and Battery Park. Yeah. That's what you said, right? Now, all of a sudden, something happened where let's start going into Spanish Harlem and taking places from there.
Right.
Let's creep up into Harlem. Let's go there. Let's go, I call it Little DR.
Right.
Which is Washington Heights. Let's go there.
Right.
But see, what's funny about Washington Heights is that they were on the other side and started developing. So it's like you have Washington Heights like this, and then it's like the other side where you have like, I guess it's the Jewish people over here or something like that.
Right.
So they came in and took that over. You know what I'm saying? Because that wasn't never Jewish. All right. So my thing is like, all of a sudden, if you ever, I don't know, you ever watched this show called, it's a real estate show in New York. I forgot what it's called. But it's on Bravo. And you see the real estate places that I was like, where in the hell did this become luxury?
Well,
but then this is the point. Mm-hmm. A lot of it has become luxury. And a lot of it has become unattainable living. A lot of people have phased out those that they don't want near them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes it hard for those to find living. But go ahead. Okay.
Let's say I am matter of fact, I'm not even a doctor. I'm a physician's assistant. I don't know. My salary might be, I want to say $75,000. I don't know what the median is.
Go ahead.
Now, it's fair to say that I can afford a $4,000 a month 2-bedroom. Mm-hmm. However, in order to make it easy for me, your physician's assistant as well, hey, we'll split the rent. And then maybe, you have a significant other, he comes to live with you, and boom, y'all splitting the rent. So, that's how they're doing it, because when you see all these people living in these, oftentimes 2-3 bedroom apartments, and the rent's outrageous, hey, they're not all making 6-figure salaries, but they're all living together because it softens the blow.
True.
Again, if you get a lottery apartment, that's what's up. If you can get into NYCHA, and we understand the stigma with the projects, but still, when you look at it from a cost perspective as far as the rent, that's what's up. It's funny.
Why they don't build more projects?
Oh, no. Trust me, that's over and done with.
I know that, but guess what?
Uh-huh.
Guess what? No offense. You probably could get rid of, a lot of people out of shelters into housing if
they built more NYCHA housing?
Yep. Because you know why? You can fit more in those buildings than you can with these affordable living.
This is me as the mayor / politician talking. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because that's low income. And guess what? Why do you think we have all these luxury apartments in the first place?
Listen.
Because I don't want you. I don't like you. I don't need you.
And guess what? You talk about closing down Rikers. Why don't you build some nice project on Rikers? Because guess what? Now they be on the island. So guess what? They don't have to be on your face.
No, let me tell you something. And we're going to talk about that probably next, show we do. Rikers, if this goes through and they shut Rikers down, it probably will become housing. Cooperative, condo. But, you and I won't be able to move there.
Guess what? I know you and I won't be able to move there, but that would be a good game plan for them to make it affordable housing, A, or B, tear it down and build up projects. You should do it like a Queensboro. Like Queensboro project, you just have it nicely like around. You know how Queensboro was like all nicely lined up against the waterfront? That's the way you should do it. Because guess what? Rikers is on an island. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
All right.
And then all you need to do is put up a couple of buildings there, and that's what it is.
I mean, technically, Rikers is in the Bronx as far as zoning, but as far as zoning, that's neither here nor there. I know you have to go through Queens to get to the island, but technically, once you go out, a certain amount of feet, it's just like,
I didn't know it was. I thought it was part of Queens.
No, it's actually part of the Bronx.
Okay.
It's like, if you go across the street and you're in Westchester or, you're in Elmont.
I know, it's like Long Island. When you go in Queens and you go back out and then you go out and you're in, no, it's like Queens. You go into Long Island and then you go back into Queens. That's the Rockaways.
There you go.
Okay. I know what I was talking about. Just that sometime it can come out.
But if they decide to put housing on Rikers, it won't be affordable. Oh, they'll say it'll be affordable. And that also still brings to mind the other issue. Like, what are you going to do with all these people who the Department of Corrections needs to house? Where are they going to go? You're talking about making smaller jails. Where? Why? Where? Because it's the same problem with the schools. You can't manage the school, so now we're going to make, smaller schools within the school.
That was stupid. I thought that was the most stupidest thing they ever did.
Because again, it boils down to management. They can't manage it, so
that was. What's so weird? We did more with less from back in the day, and here you have better. You have better now, and you're more screwed. I don't get that.
None of us understand.
It's like when you look at school back in the day, we were able to get more done in the same amount of hours that your child has, but now you got to cut out certain classes because they're not getting enough time in the school. I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Like, what was different? See, my thing is this. You have technology now. You have a lot of things that we didn't have back then. You should be able to time manage more today than we were back in the day. But why did we get better back in the day than what you have now? That's weird.
You know what? That too is slightly a separate issue. I mean, sometimes I think we got to remember to shut the hell up.
I like the way he gave me the look like, when you shut up.
That's why we need to get a Skype up and running, so you can see our faces.
No, you can see him.
Well, what?
I'll still be a phantom. I'll be behind the.
She'll be wearing the mask, with the feathers.
I'll be talking to him from behind the couch. No, I said I'll be talking to you behind the couch.
Yeah, I'm not even going to address that, because it's past my nap time and we got to get out of here. But thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
And remember, we discuss the issues that affect all of us. I'm Devil Tongue.
Faith to Mother.
And this is Spreaker. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.